Man, I need a treadmill. Hey guys, this is Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and today we are doing a comparison, one that's been requested quite a bit, between the TrueForm Runner, which is the stalwart, the one that's been out for a while, the all-metal beast, to their newer, cheaper option, the TrueForm Trainer. They have a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of differences. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna categorize all the different things that I think are worth looking at. We're gonna tell you which ones are better for the trainer, which ones are better for the runner, or which one are better for the trainer, and tell you which one I think this one is best suited for versus that one. Let's get into it. All right, so the first category is materials. First, I'm gonna start with the runner because it's the one that's been out for a while. This one, as you can see, is an all metal beast. What I mean by that is pretty much every part of it is metal. It's steel that's been formed and hand welded in Connecticut. It's all made in the USA. It's all very overbuilt, overdone, and because of that, it's pretty expensive. I'll go into the price differences in a moment, but the materials that are used on the TrueForm Runner are by and large better than the TrueForm Trainer. I would say just about every feature as far as materials go on this one is just an upgraded, heavier duty, beefier version of what's used on the Trainer. I mean everything, including the inside of the frame. So if you come over here and take a look, when I open this up, this belt is not only heavier, but the internal frame is also better materials. It's heavier duty gauge steel, it's heavier, it's harder to move, but it also is extremely stable. Now, when we look over here at the trainer is kind of the opposite of that. It takes some inspiration from the runner, but it also leaves some things off. So these outside forms here that are covering the internals, these aren't metal. These aren't, welded. These are plastic. You can hear it. They're cheaper, they're more likely to crack if they get hit. They're lighter, the belt itself is lighter. These handles are metal, but powder coat isn't as nice. They have a little bit more rock to them. It's a much lighter machine when I lift it up. It's much lighter overall. And then when you look on the inside, it is using a welded frame on the inside, metal welded. However, it's not as heavy, it's not as stable, it's just not as good of a runner, which makes sense because the price difference is so large. So then the second category, which details specifically with the materials used, is the durability. How is the durability between these? So this one I've had for going on, I think about 2 years. I have the basic version, which is a black version. Looks like it's made by Rogue. It's black textured powder coat. Really nice, but doesn't have all these cool colors and turf belt. I've had that one at the gym for maybe 4 or 5 years now, and it performs like it did on day one. It's the exact same as when I got it. We've had no maintenance issues, have nothing done with it. It just works. The TrueForm Trainer, to be honest, I haven't had it enough. I haven't used it enough to really give a durability comparison. Honestly, these haven't really even been out long enough to give you a true comparison on durability. However, I will say, because the frame is made of metal and a similar design as what's used on the runner, it's gonna last a long time. You're gonna have some artificial imperfections to it, like because this is plastic, this is probably going to end up cracking in some capacity eventually, especially if you're like using dumbbells or something on it. I do use like them for farmer's carries and that sort of thing. The handles are gonna do well because they're still metal and the bearings are nice. The belt's still using a similar type of rubber, even though it's not as heavy. But overall, they're still using good materials. So this one is still gonna be very durable. However, if you're using this in a commercial setting, you're probably gonna want the runner. But for most home gyms, this level of quality, even though it's made in Korea, is still gonna be pretty good. The third category is the monitors. These are what you're seeing when you're using the machine. This on the runner has been their same design since pretty much the beginning. It's a nice display. I would say it's nicer than what's used on the trainer. However, as I've said before, this is the worst thing on the TrueForm Runner or Trainer is their monitor. They're just not that good. They don't track a lot of metrics. As you can see, they track your pace, your speed, your distance, and your time, and you can change between kilometers and miles. But other than that, that's pretty much the base functionality. It's a brighter display than what you see on the trainer. It's using these nice LEDs. But as far as functionality, there's not really a difference. I mean, I've said this before, but TrueForm, come on, do something different with this. Make this better. The Assault Runner's version is even better than your top version. It's just not there yet. So I think you could copy Concept 2 or something like that with the monitor, but this one, although better I would say than the trainer, it's still not that good. But then when we come over here and we take a look at the trainer is pretty much borrowing aspects of that, but instead of using a battery that's hooked up to the bottom that's rechargeable, which honestly is kind of not very user-friendly, this one's using AA batteries in the back, 4 of them, and then it's got the same functionality on the front. So you can just press a button to start it. It's got some modes where you can change like the distance traveled and things like that, which I don't think is ultra necessary because you can just look and say, okay, I have this much left. You got your pace, your speed, your distance, your time, but this one does have an upgrade from that one of heart rate, where you can track your heart rate if you've got some sort of monitor that connects via Bluetooth. I would actually say that although this one is better looking and I like the LED display on the runner, the trainer, because it has heart rate and because it's not using the battery design that they're using on there, it's using AA's, I think the trainer's monitor is actually better. So they're both not good, but if I was gonna have one, I think the trainer, has a little bit more functionality, and I just like it a little bit better. So I'd go with this one. Now let's discuss portability. Because the runner is a heavier machine, it's made for commercial applications, it's more difficult to move. Although it's more difficult, there are some better componentry about it that makes it easier. So it does have bars underneath on this side with wheels on the front, so when you want to lift it, you basically deadlift it. That said, I'm a 1,500 pound deadlifter. Most of you guys deadlift not even half of what I deadlift. If you do deadlift a lot less than half of what most people deadlift than me, it's still gonna be very heavy because it's just kind of awkward to move. It's out in front, you get down, you lift it, you move it back. It's not like grossly heavy for most lifters. However, if you're just a runner and you're trying to move this, it may be a little bit difficult. If you're, just lighter person, not very strong, it may be more difficult. So the benefit here is that it's very stable because it's heavy and it feels really good underfoot. The downside is a little bit more difficult to move. But if you come in here and take a look, they are using better wheels. So as I said earlier, all the componentry on this is better or more beefed up, I think is a better term, than the trainer. The wheels included, these are some nice rubber wheels that have some grip to them. They're heavy casters. They're gonna be able to handle as much, as many times as you move it on any surface, they work really well. When we switch over here to the trainer, and I just talk directly about the wheels, they're using a harder plastic wheel. The plastic wheel probably won't crack over time because it's got different ridges and multiple support mechanisms, but it's a worse wheel. I don't think that's really necessary to base your decision of the runner or the treadmill on the plastic wheels, but I think it is worth looking at. And then on the back side, they're using the same support system as they are on the trainer or as they are on the runner, which is just like this simple rubber stopper that can adjust up and down. That way you get the proper height on it, so you have the right gait or what you're looking for with the trainer. And then that goes to the category that I think is worth talking about and is kind of the most important when you're looking at these versus another competitor like an Assault Runner or a Woodway Curve or some of those others. And that is that the TrueForm Trainer and the Runner have the shallowest deck of any non-motorized treadmill. The reason a TrueForm is a TrueForm and they're largely considered the best non-motorized treadmills out there is because they're designed to improve your running gait. These aren't just designed to improve your times or things like that. They're designed to make you run in a more balanced midfoot striking position, which is more like what they call pose running, where you're pulling. Because if you get on this and you're a heel striker, you are gonna wear out so quickly. You are gonna absolutely hate this machine. So because of that, and that being kind of their patent pending design, the thing that's really important for them, they took those same design for the deck on this one as they did on this one. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't really want to improve their form and just wants a runner that you can use a lot, then these, honestly, I think there's some better options. Like the Assault Runner is a great treadmill. It's heavier than this. It runs quicker, it's easier uptake in that you don't really need to improve your gait. It's not designed for that. And it's the reason that a lot of people actually prefer it over these because they don't want to improve their running form. They just want to get the running done. So if that's what you're looking for, then maybe a better option out there. However, if you would like to improve your running form, which I feel most people would, then I think these are both great options because they're designed to improve your running form. Now let's talk about what I think is the most important part if you're looking at the specific functions, and that is the feeling underfoot. The feeling underfoot on the TrueForm Trainer is a much lighter, springier, it just doesn't feel as solid as the runner does. Now, granted, that's using a rubber belt. This is using a turf belt. However, I've got the rubber belt on the other one. I know what it feels like. This one, it feels just so much more solid. There's not as much like pushback. It's the closest, in my opinion, to road running. I mean, that's how all known motorized treadmills are, but it's just a better feeling underfoot. It feels better, it feels more responsive. Just overall, I like the feeling of this. I think largely it's due to a heavier belt. That's using a lighter belt. So it does feel like it's, I don't know, not resisting as much as this one, which is what I'm used to. So that said, both of them feel pretty good under feet. If you're comparing these to, like, maybe you're somebody that's used a treadmill for a long time and you're looking into non-motorized treadmills, these blow away motorized treadmills every day of the week, no doubt. Okay, you don't have to use any maintenance. That's one of the reasons these are legendary, because they're kind of like a Concept 2 rower. You don't have to do any maintenance on them. They just last and last and last. Whereas if you're using a belt that's got a motor and it's driving it, they're getting beat all the time. You have to do maintenance on them. For most home gym owners, most personal use cases, they're not good. We're gonna do a speed test, 10 seconds, max effort, see how far we get. Just do a little comparison. Let's do it. We're about 0.06. This time, 10 seconds, max effort, TrueForm Trainer. Let's do it. So distance showing 0.04. 0.05, 0.04, somewhere around there. Honestly, between these two, just sprinting, this one feels better. I will say, it's because that one has a heavier belt, especially because it's using turf. But this one for sprinting, it may feel better. It feels really good for sprinting. Although I didn't get as far as distance, these may be calculated a little bit differently. If I was just gonna buy one for sprinting, I think the trainer may feel better. Then the last category is the value category, the price. The TrueForm Trainer, which is the cheaper, more plastic, imported version, is overall $2,000 less than the Runner. And I'm not including all the specs, like this one would cost way more than that because it's got a special belt and special colors. I'm just talking about the base black version with the rubber belt. The comparison, if you have them shipped immediately, it's about $2,000 difference. The Runner is $67.95, the Trainer is $47.95. Now, if you get them like shipped later, they've got some weird system where you can save money on it. It's pretty cool. I would just do whichever one is the latest out because you can end up saving a couple grand on it just by getting it shipped later. Then they each go down quite a bit. But overall, they're still gonna be about $2,000 difference. And they're a very pricey runner. It's a very pricey treadmill. Yeah, it's gonna last you the rest of your life, but it's still gonna be expensive. So here's what I would say. For most home gym owners, this is the better option. No doubt about it, it's way cheaper. This one is just absolute overkill. Even for a lot of commercial facilities, I think this is overkill. It's the best. It's super overdone. It's hand welded in the USA. I mean, every part of it is just beautiful and nice, except for the monitor. It's just beautiful and nice, and I just really like it. This one I still like, but I really like it when I look at the price comparison because it's a lot cheaper, especially when you extend the shipping farther out. So for most home gym owners, which are you guys, most of you, if you're looking at, hey Coop, which one should I get? I would probably avoid this for most of you because this is going to be used for personal use. You have some other people that used it, but you're not putting the amount of miles on there that something like a commercial facility would with people that don't care about the equipment. So if you're out there looking for a treadmill, a non-motorized version, and want to improve your gait, this is your best option. If you don't really care about your gait, you just want something that works really well and is cheaper, I think the Assault Runner is an even better option if you're not worried about, you know, improving your gait. I've used it. It's a nice machine, although I still personally, because I'm trying to just improve every part of my training and the way I move and everything like that, I like the TrueForms. So this is Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. Which one do you like? Have you used a TrueForm versus some of the others? Have you used the non-motorized versus motorized? In my opinion, I love non-motorized, but you know, sometimes it is nice if you're using inclines and things like that on a motorized treadmill. But we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.